This is Season 2, Episode 36 of the Out of the Minds podcast. I'm Sean Oakley.
And I'm Sam Cooper, and we're both playing something completely random.
Yeah, I just thought I'd do something fun for this week after all the practice we've done recently. So I wanted to bring some bobber, so I brought some bobber, and I brought some scum, and I'm going to jump straight into it.
Yes.
I have brought bobber. I have kitted him out with the Marauder title, Veteran Tail Gunner, Fearless, and then I had 4 points left over, so I was like, do you know what, I'm going to lob some seismics and some fuses on him. Gives him a bit of flexibility and toolbox. I brought Ketsu because I love the Lancer class ship. It's like one of my favourite ships. She's got Fearless because obviously if you want to bump into someone, move them off, get Fearless. I've leaned into the sort of being 0 to 1 with the tractor shenanigans by also putting on 000. So I have the option of getting a calculate or or giving a stress. Obviously the title and contraband. And then I've got Talonbane Cobra with Fearless because I just wanted another I5 for ease of initiative, and he's quite good for 4 points. And then I had 2 points left over, so that is the Mining Guild Surveyor, the Mining Guild Tie generic, which is great because he can just jump through rocks, be an objective monkey. Jobs are good.
Yeah. On to my list. So, I was going to bring a bit of a spicy, interesting take on Separatists with an eye to... Because whilst I have no idea what new points are going to be, if we do get new points, I feel like they're going to be knocking Droid Swarms on the head. So I was looking at changing up who I was using in Droid Swarms.
Oh, I'm sure we are getting new points. Like, I don't know, I can't remember where I read it, but I'm sure I read on a Facebook comment somewhere that, was it Discord, that there was a rumour of like December 1st, which isn't that far away.
Yeah. So I was going to bring something slightly spicy, but then I decided to bring even more spicy because have a little bit of fun, and I've brought a TIE Swarm. And the theme of my TIE Swarm is randomly roll extra dice and also be like defensive and offensive.
And the fact that everyone's got 4 health.
And everyone has 4 health, which is odd for a TIE Swarm.
Which I've clocked.
And there's 6 of them.
And Disciplined, which I did not clock until you started taking target locks on everyone.
Yeah. So I've got Hal Runner with Disciplined and Hull Upgrade. Gideon Hask with Disciplined and Shield Upgrade. Iden Versio with Disciplined and Shield Upgrade. Scythe 6 from the Battle over Endor, who is very interesting because he has no escape, he has Predator, but the most interesting things he has is Ion Maneuvering Jet, so whenever he does a red maneuver, he can spend a charge, and he has 2 of them, and then he can do an action even while stressed. Very nice. And his ability is, when he makes an attack at range 1 to 2, roll an extra dice, which, fantastic. He's basically Gideon without having to damage the opponent. His only downside is that he's only I2, but I can live with that. I play Droid Swarms.
Yeah.
He also has Targeting Matrix, which I completely misread. I thought it was Hebsley's ability, and so I just didn't use it. It actually might have been useful, but we'll never know. It's basically, whilst you're attacking, you can spend a focus result. If you do, your opponent, the defender gains a strain.
Yeah, that probably would have been useful.
Probably would have been useful, but I massively misread it. I thought it was Hebsley's one, which is you can spend a focus result to gain like 2 evade tokens or something, or you can spend a focus token to gain 2 evades. And I was like, at I2, whatever. I have to have attacked, so it's not likely to need it.
Yeah.
But moving on, I have Scourge Scutu, not the BOE version, the 3-point version. He has Disciplined and Hull Upgrade. And then I have Del Miko with Disciplined and Shield Upgrade. And basically, the Shield Upgrades and the Hull Upgrades are you can tell who has 1 more point of loadout.
Fair. So we're playing Salvage today, which was interesting because I thought it would immediately favour you.
I didn't think it would. Because I think I have. So your ships can sort of go and do whatever, and yes, okay, Bobber doesn't want to pick one up because he wants to boost, but Talonbane can get away picking one up. Mining Guild can pick one up.
Yeah, I mean the Mining Guild's obviously going to pick one up. Talonbane though, like having the option for the barrel roll is quite useful, particularly when you've got fearless on him.
Like my thought was like I have a bunch of squishy ships, and like unless I'm rolling natural crit, like unless I'm naturally getting crits into you, then I'm not like I don't have like built-in crits to make you drop stuff. But I do have stuff.
To be fair, neither do I.
Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking like I have more squishier ships.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So we end up, the objectives are like the standard cross deep in the middle on both our sides and up on the far edges as best we can on the opposite sides. And then rocks. I've brought the 3 small rocks because I have a large and medium base.
I brought the 3 Pride of Mandalore rocks because I don't like thinking about rocks.
Yeah. And actually, we basically, as I'm looking at it, cluster it as far right as we can. With one just off to the left, just on your side of the midline.
Yeah, because basically I was like, you've got large base ships, so if I want to get them all in one area, so I've got enough space to maneuver. Like I know it gives you space to maneuver as well, but I figure with Boba and Ketsu, like you can basically maneuver where you want to most of the time anyway. I need to make sure I have space to have a giant clump of ties at range 1 of each other.
Yeah. Whereas I was like, that's fine, but because I ended up placing the one that's just slightly off because I wanted to create a lane. In the sense of, I know it doesn't stop a swarm coming through, but it limits where a swarm can come through. Because eventually I'm going to have to take on that swarm, and I need to make sure I can get like Boba and Ketsu on the same target. Particularly with Iden, because I need 2 really good shots, 2 hammers into one ship, because you're just going to nullify one of them.
Exactly.
And that setup, Talonbane might have been there as well. And then the flip side is, I don't mind the cluster because it means that my Mining Guild tie has got loads of cover to pick up on, go over rocks, hide from the swarm, and take up the points. So we go to ships.
Setup.
And you're first player, which you are a lot in this game.
I am most of the game. So I set up Civ 6, basically facing along my board edge. He's like just like a speed 2, like a 2 straight to the left of the objective. That's like I placed it really close down the center to my objective, and the idea is I'm going to coast along, turn in, someone will grab it, and then we'll see where we go.
Yeah,
it's the same tactic I do with droids. Like it's one of those things like I would rather get positioning, and I can happy to go a little bit, points down a little bit on the objective, and then as we'll find out later, like it semi pays off. Like the concept works. It just this isn't a droid swarm. I don't have 8 ships.
So it's interesting because you set up like that. I kind of figured that's what you're going to do. You're going to go straight turn 1, turn 2. So I set up the Mining Guild Surveyor just below the center objective on my side, in the hopes that you'd think I'd just do a 1 hard next turn, 1 hard, pick it up, jet off. But actually, I was thinking if I do a fast straight and then turn 2, do a bank to the right into the rocks, I can grab the center one away from you and then disappear with it. Because I think to catch him, you'd have to turn 1, and I don't think you're going to do that.
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't expect a fast maneuver from it, but I was like, makes sense, because it just made my turn 2 turn in be like, well, if Sean really messes up, I guess I'll catch him, but I wasn't too bothered. Like, it's one of those things like, I figured the tie was going to grab an objective. Like, admittedly, when your tie did that, I thought Ketsu might go slow, weirdly enough, or I was like, because there was like, yes, you're getting the center, but you're also leaving your home one, so it's to me it felt like, okay, he's not taking one from me, he's getting the one he always was going to get, sort of thing. But it did deny me an easy one.
Then you set up the rest of your list.
Yeah, and basically I set up the rest of my list trailing behind Civ 6 in a good old going 2 by 2, 3 like rows of 3.
So I set up my fires, and I do set up Ketsu just to the left of the tie. And the initial thoughts were, maybe I just go slow, but actually, a 1 straight, I think would take me out of range anyway.
Yeah, probably right.
and I end up setting Bobber up on the left flank. And the reason I decide not to go slow is because I need to get them both in at the same time, and I can't afford to misjudge it and have neither of them mind bumping. But catching one at range 2 and one's not even in range 3 would be disaster. So and then Talonbane ends up on the right hand side below the objective there, because unless you won hard turn 1, which I would be gobsmacked, then he's not in any danger. And if you do one hard, then your swarm's coming through the biggest clump of rocks ever. So
yeah.
Like
I said, I don't want to be on that side. And so when Talonbane was there, I was like, cool, he can have that. My battle is winning on this side. Unfortunately, it's the side that Bobber's on, but that can't be helped.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, though, if I do kill Bobber, which this list can do, like, it has a lot of punch.
And that's how you kill Bobber, isn't it? You concentrate, because the rerolls will only get you so far. Yeah. Okay, let's jump into it. And I pretty much do exactly what I say. 4 straight, and evade with the Mining Guild.
Basically, my entire list is of 3 straight and focuses.
Ketsu 3 straights and focuses. Bobber does 4 straight and boosts to the right to line up at the swarm. And Talonbane did, I think, a 4 and took a focus.
So here is where things get a little bit interesting. Is that I think I've done myself a disservice by doing the 3 straight. I wanted to just like be. I didn't want to go crazy into Bobber if I didn't have to. So I did a slow maneuver. I think I should have done a 4, because what I've done is I've lined myself up. Ironically, Iden and Howlrunner, when I turn in a sec, are going to line themselves up into a rock, which is going to get really awkward.
Yeah.
But because I wasn't sure if Ketsu was going to go fast or not, I didn't feel like I could take a turn out to barrel roll.
Yeah, that's fair. And I
actually, if he had come eating, I'd been like, all right, we fight. But then I was like, because I was going to do a 3 hard. Here.
Yeah. So the interesting,
but I was like, I think that would have got me too close to. I thought if you came in, that gets me too close to Ketsu and Bobber, and then I'm in trouble.
Yeah. The interesting thing is, actually, spoilers, I do slow roll because I didn't want to end up at range 2.
Yeah.
Which I thought, like, at least I thought you can make sure Bobber ends up at range 2, even with like a full straight boost.
Yeah.
And that wasn't worth the risk. Whereas if you expect me to come gunning in and plan for it, and I go slow, maybe I just catch 1 or 2 shots at range 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my entire swarm is going to do a 2 hard to the left and focus, except for Iden, who picks up the crate, because I think Iden is a really good crate carrier because she has a literal "nah, I'm not dropping the crate."
Yeah. I do a 2 bank with the Mining Guild tie and pick up the crate. Your swarm all turns in. I do a 3 straight with Talonbane, and he picks up the crate because he's got a nice hard turn in the next turn. And then I 1 straight and focus with both Bobber and Ketsu.
Yeah. So when it comes to the shooting, we just got Bobber versus Scythe 6, essentially. Nothing really happens. I think I got a sneaky shot into the Mining Guild Surveyor with Del Mico, but again...
It was range 3
for a rock.
Yeah. I don't think we do anything to each other there, do we? So...
and then comes the turn, and I eye this up, and I was like, actually, I think if I go fast, Iden and Howlrunner might just skate past the rock, because the template is a little bit thinner than... Obviously, the template is thinner than your base.
Yeah.
So if I go fast, it's okay. And I'm like, oh, but then I'll be at range 1 of Ketsu. And it was like, actually, at some point, I'm going to be at range 1 of Ketsu. I may as well have it where my entire TIE swarm is at range 1 of Ketsu.
Yeah, definitely. And I know that we're going to end up shooting at range 1 of each other here. So it's just a case of picking the target. And this caught me off.
What I do is Scythe 6 does a 4 straight, I barrel to the right and link it to an evade, because I'm going for Ketsu, so I want to try and make sure that Bobber is at the very least range 2 of Hellrunner. Because if Hellrunner survives this initial round, we're sorted.
Yeah.
And also, Civ 6 has a barrel roll into an evade.
That's what caught me. Like, you were like, I'm going to barrel roll it, sweet, and link it into an event. I'm like, what? It's a TIE fighter. Yeah, fair dues, fair dues.
So Iden does a 5 straight, and she does clip the rock, which means I know that Hellrunner's clipping the rock. I only take 1 damage. Okay, shield gone on Iden. Unfortunate. Gideon and Dell both do 4 straight and focus because I wanted to make sure that when Ketsu bumped into Iden, that Dell had a shot.
Yeah.
And I was looking like, oh, maybe I can do some sneaky barrels. Nah, just focus.
Yeah. Then we remember
and also,
that
if he does, then we remember that the Mining Guild Surveyor is supposed to have gone before all of that, but it wouldn't have really mattered.
yeah, because he's just 3-harding away through the rock, stays
Yeah.
on the rock, doesn't care, takes a focus.
Yeah. Scourge does a 4 straight and focuses. Then Hellrunner does a 5 straight over the rock, takes 1 damage and focuses.
Talonbane just does a 2 hard in and focuses. Ketsu 1 straights and bumps, which is fine. Red focus. And Bobber does I think 2 straight and bumps and red focuses. Fine.
Yeah. So my biggest fear actually was that Ketsu went super fast and just jumped my swarm. I feel like it would have been interesting, but I don't think maybe you could have done it.
I think a 5k looking at that might have cleared it.
Yeah.
But like who knew you were going to go fast?
Yeah.
Well, I know the rock. Well, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because you're going to clear it in the bit. Spoilers, but that's because you actively mega clear it. Anyway, you put a tractor token on. Surprise, surprise, Hellrunner.
Yeah, my goal here is, all right. I know Ketsu's going to take a lot of shots, quite possibly die. If I can trade that for, ideal is Hellrunner dead and the Iden charge spent. Like, yes, it's down on points for me, but only by 2.
Yeah,
and
Hellrunner being gone is quite important.
Yeah, and also the no damage is.
Yeah. On the flip side, I guess though, the interesting thing is like if I can trade Hellrunner and the charge for Ketsu, I'll be like, I'll take that because then you've only got realistically 2 ships for me to go for.
Yeah,
like. If I kill Ketsu, I can ignore the Mining Guild Surveyor. I just need to I can either pick on Talonbane or pick on Bobber. Probably in this situation, I try and get Talonbane.
I think would be the right call.
But either way, we go in because it doesn't quite end up. Well, I think you end up getting basically what you need.
Yeah,
and I just miss out.
We won't bother with pausing for every roll.
Let's not bother with dice. There's lots of rolls. Essentially. You kill Hellrunner through the charge between Bobber and between Bobber, Talon, and Ketsu. You kill Hellrunner.
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure Talonbane also shoots ranged.
Yeah, I do.
I did get to shoot into you though, and this is where the triggers come in that I've forgotten. Is that I shot into Ketsu with my 5s first, got you down and dealt damage to you, and then promptly forgot about the Del Miko ability.
Yeah.
Which, because it was on the Ketsu roll that I used the Iden charge, and had I been able to keep the Iden charge for another attack, maybe...
Then Hellrunner probably lives, yeah.
Hellrunner probably lives. But I just forgot about it, because I forgot I damaged Ketsu.
Yeah, that's fair.
Then the rest of my list shoots into Ketsu, and I do a lot of damage.
Yeah, you get me down to 1.
Because thanks to Disciplined, basically everyone relevant has a target lock on Ketsu. Yeah, I get you down to 1.
But you didn't use, once.
Yeah,
like I'm not saying dice, but we both rolled hot.
I didn't use them, but in my defense, I had all of my shots were double.
Oh yeah. No. I'm not complaining about your dice. Both of ours were very good until suddenly they weren't. But it just amused me.
Yeah, right up into the end, I get you down to 1, and I attack with Civ 6, and I just forget no escape.
Yeah. And that would have been critical, because I think you only rolled 1 crit and 2...
I rolled 1 crit and 2 blanks.
Yeah.
And so had I rolled that blank into something, then maybe Ketsu dies.
Yeah, because I only rolled 1...
Yeah.
1 evade, so that would have been Ketsu dead. But and now I'm on the flip side of, you can't initiative kill me, so yes, she probably dies next round, but at least she gets to shoot something.
Yeah, and that now I need to try and turn around in a way that gets Ketsu, who is going to 5k.
Yeah.
Or go fast. I didn't know you were going to 5k because you were stressed, and I was like, maybe you don't, and maybe you just go fast and like get out. Because I figured that might have been an option because I didn't think you'd go for because you weren't going to get range one of my guys.
Yeah, at that point it was a case of I'll just lob a dice and hope and try and get rid of stuff with Bobber. Should point out that you used
5/6's
formed up. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was at range 0 to 1 of another TIE fighter, so I removed that stress I'd gained at the end of the last turn, which allowed 5/6 to do a 3k.
Yeah.
I actually love this ship so much.
Yeah, that's fair. The Mining Guild tie just does I think it was a 2 hard and takes focus. He's just going to trundle around now with points.
Iden does a 3 hard to the left. It's not that I was trying to chase the Mining Guild Surveyor, but I don't know why I just didn't think Talonbane would 2-bank to the left. I was just like, well, let's just get Iden out of here. She has a crate. We can go have a fun tie chasing off in the bottom left corner of the map.
Fair.
I actually don't know why I didn't think Talonbane would 2-bank.
Fair.
Gideon 4Ks over the back of Iden. Over the back of Ketsu. Del Miko does a 1 hard to the right, bumps into Ketsu, takes a focus, which maybe I shouldn't have done because I'd forgotten that the blues on ties are not amazing. And then Scourge does a 1 hard to the right and takes a focus.
Yeah. I mean, the flip side of that is that Bobber's probably coming in, so I'd argue having the focus is probably critical. Talonbane does do a 2-bank because I didn't think you'd do 1 hards. I thought you'd K-turn everyone. So I was trying to put my arc down there and nicely sits range 1 of Iden, so just take a focus. I pop Contraband and 5k over with Ketsu, and I take a target lock, and I target lock Del because I was thinking I wanted to kill Del because Del gives the defensive rerolls, and if I can take that off, I was like thinking if I can strip the focus with Del with her shot and then whack into him with Bobber, great. Because Bobber 1-banks round the rock and takes a focus. But it's your 5 first.
So Scourge has the money shot. I've got a range 1 bullseye, so 4 dice into Bobber. I roll hit, focus, so I spend my focus for 4 hits, and I was like, all right. Today's the day of hot dice.
I roll evade blank. Sorry, I didn't. I just rolled 2 out of hand. I just haven't done it yet. So I take 2 shields on Bobber. Then I have Ketsu's shot, and I end up. No, I go into Del because I'm still trying to kill Del. I roll 3 focuses, as you do when you've taken a target lock. I spend the lock, and I convert to 2 hits and a crit. So, nice.
I roll 2 evades and a blank, and then I Del reroll into an evade. So
nice. And then I have Bobber's shot. At this point, I decide to change target because I haven't done anything to Del. So by going into Scourge, he's got no token. I'm not damaged, so he's not getting the reroll. So I figured it's the easier punch choice. I end up with 3 hits and a crit.
I roll 2 evades. And I take a direct hit was the crit, I believe. Hit. So I take down to 1 on Scourge.
Down to 1. Talonbane takes the 5 dice range 1 hammer into Iden. I end up with 3 hits and a crit.
I roll 2 evades, so I take hit crit, and it's a blinded pilot, so I do drop the crate.
Yeah. And then it's over to you.
Gideon shoots range 3 into Ketsu. I roll hit blank focus. I spend the target lock and get blank focus, but you roll 3 dice and get no evades.
Yeah.
So we've gone from rolling hammers to absolute wet fish.
Yeah, but it's done the job. It's got the 1 through.
It's done the job. I have killed Ketsu. Then Del shoots range 1 into
Bobber
and doesn't do anything. Iden shoots range 3 into the Mining Guild tie. I end up with a crit, but you dodge it. And then Scythe 6, range 2 into Bobber, so I get 3 dice. I roll hit crit, and you do avoid it with your rerolls.
Yes. So at the end of that, it's 10-8.
Yeah. The irony here is I wish you'd killed Scourge this turn.
Because then everyone would get a target lock or a barrel roll.
Because then at the very least, Del Miko would lock Bobber. Gideon would probably still keep locked on Ketsu, because I'd be trying to hopefully kill her.
I haven't used it much. Is disciplined even while stressed, is it?
No, it's not even while stressed. Sorry, yeah.
So,
I forgot about it. Yeah, it wouldn't have done anything, never mind.
Fair. And now a case of, like, I'm just, I suppose, almost on mop up. Like,
yeah.
It's close,
so at this point,
I've plinked enough off people.
Yeah, it's close, but Aiden's on 1, Scourge is on 1. Like, Del and Gideon and Scythe are fine, but 3 ties just not a Boba Fett defeat.
Yeah. My actual, ironically, my biggest sort of brain scratcher here was what's Aiden going to do and what do I do with my tie? I was like, because I wasn't sure if you go fast below the rock and try and barrel roll up, or you'd hard turn and then barrel roll across.
I actually wasn't sure what I was going to do that until the end.
Yeah,
I was currently puzzling the Del and Gideon problem.
Fair. Because I thought, oh, well, 3 hard might just sneak, like template sneak in between the rock and Talon Bane. And I was like, do I 1 hard? Do I 3 hard? Like, yeah. I opted for the 3 hard, just figured it was distance. Which, there I go. I'm first player this turn. Yeah.
Yeah. You do drop a seismic.
I do drop a seismic because I figured some of your ties have to be near there somewhere.
Yeah. So the interesting is, I basically played the game of, I think I played the game of he'll think I know he's dropping a seismic, so he won't to get me. And so I also thought Scourge can't go anywhere that Bobber can't kill him.
That's fair.
So I'd rather die here and get the locks this way.
That's a good point. I hadn't considered it. Yeah, that's a very valid point.
Anyway, so Scythe 6 does a 1 hard to the left, and I pick up the crate on the left-hand side. Yeah, I didn't really have any good place to go. I removed the stress last round with a form up because Gideon was right there. Aiden does a 4 straight, and I barrel roll to the left, trying to line up a shot onto the tie, because at this point, 1 health tie, sure, let's just try and plink off a crate. Like, it can't really do much else.
Yeah.
He spent her charge. So Gideon does a 2 bank to the right, and then I barrel roll to the right, trying to dodge the exploding rock. Del Miko does a 2 bank to the left. Basically, they almost swap positions. He barrels to the left, trying to dodge the exploding rock. Again, they're in really awkward spots, but I didn't see a way to not be in an awkward spot.
That's fair. I was very happy as you barrel roll both of them away from the rock because Bobber's 1 harding and it now fits. So he takes a focus. Talon Bane had done a 1 bank, bumps into Gideon, so just takes the red focus.
Yeah. So Scourge does a 4K and is going to get blown up by the rock. So I lost my game of, I reckon he might not drop it because it's so obvious. But it's the game of chicken.
Yeah. I mean, the interesting thing is, if I hadn't have dropped it, it would have been perfect because you're not in Bobber's arc.
Yeah. Okay, exactly. It's one of those. It's an interesting, like, maybe I should have just gone for the 3 hard away and taken a focus, but I was constantly in my mind, like, Bobber will have a bunch of rerolls and a bomb shot.
Yeah.
And I've got 1 health. So I just thought I will take and I won't be doing anything. And at this point I need to be doing things. So I just thought I'll take the risk. I think he might not drop it because it's so obvious.
That's fair.
But he did drop it. And so Scourge will die, and Gideon and Del will get target locks on Bobber, but neither of them will be able to shoot at Bobber.
Yeah. But importantly, I plinked the shield off Del, even though I didn't hull on the overlay.
Yeah.
And 1 off Bobber as well. But it's my 5's first. So I do the range 1 shot from Talon Bane into the back of Del, and I end up with 4 hits and a crit.
I roll a single evade, so I die.
And then Bobber range 1's into Gideon, I roll 3 focuses and a blank. I re-roll the blank into a crit and spend for 3 in a crit.
I roll a single evade and don't die.
No,
I get a damaged engine though. Iden shoots. No, sorry. Is this...
Yeah, Iden shot into the
Iden
tie.
shoots range 1 into the tie and doesn't do anything. Gideon shoots range 0 into Talonbane and doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I think you rolled hit.
18-9.
I think you rolled hit crit with Iden, and I rolled evade focus and spent.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
so at this point, I know I've lost, so I'm just like, all right, let's just not give Sean points.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I'm just gonna go and pick up a crate with Bobber, and it's pretty much guaranteed at this point. I drop a seismic just in case Gideon's gone that way, chasing after the tie, trying to plink the crate off or something.
Yeah.
Like, I know none of my ships are going to be near it, so why not?
Yeah. So Sive does a 3 hard and focuses. He's just trying to stay away.
So actually, the Mining Gale tie was an interesting choice here because it was again, what's Iden going to do? Like, you're going to hard turn. That's obvious. Is it going to be a 1, 2, 3? Like, if you can hard turn, get me an arc at range 1, and then repair the blinded pilot, you've got the lock.
Yeah.
So I just opt for the 1 hard to try and cut inside and focus.
I did the 1 hard. I was just hoping it. I was like, I could have done a 2, but I just didn't think it would. I felt it would go too far, so I was like, I'll do the 1 hard. Any shot is better than no shot. I bump, so I red focus. And then Gideon does a 2 hard to the right. It's red because of the damage engine, but I was pretty sure that either no one would be shooting me or Bobber would have a bad shot.
Yeah. Talonbane does a 3 straight to clear stress and just takes focus. And Bobber does a 3 bank and picks up the crate. And then Talonbane shoots into Scythe and rolls hit crit.
I roll evade blank. So you plink the crate off just to add insult to injury, and then nothing else happens with the shooting. In fact, you decline to shoot at Gideon with your Mining Guild Surveyor. You're so confident you've won.
I mean, actually, it was more to the point. I'd completely forgot he had a shot and had already ticked up the points. But yeah, that was fine. Like the moment Bobber picked up a crate, it was.
I mean, to be honest,
it was over before that. But
it was over before that.
Yeah,
I think not necessarily over. I think it was pretty close to over when I didn't kill Ketsu.
Yeah,
because then I had to lambast myself to try and kill Ketsu.
Yeah, I mean, it was certainly over by the end of the turn after that.
Yeah. But the ties were interesting. They were actually quite fun. I realized I'm so used to droids. The idea of a 2 hard not being blue is weird.
No, I have to admit, I thought the 2 hards were blue, but fair.
No, they're not. That's why Gideon and Dell did such weird stuff.
Yeah, no, okay, that's fair. I mean, I don't fly many.
Yeah.
I mean, I say many ties. I'm literally flying a tie, but
2 straight, 3 straight, 2 bank, Sean. That's it.
Fair enough. I mean, they are the ties. But yeah, that was a quick, short. I'll say fun game.
I thought it was fun.
It was fun on my point.
I thought it was fun. Civ 6. Ever since I read Civ 6 Pilot, I was like, this is a cool ship, and boy, is Civ 6 a cool ship. The only disadvantage Civ 6 has is that they need to be in a tie swarm.
Do they need to be in a tie swarm, or do they just need to be paired up with one other tie?
Actually, that's fair. They just need to be paired up with at least 1 tie, but then they need to be literally paired.
But what are any of the other Endor ties we've formed up?
Hold on,
worth it?
Who's the other 3-pointer? Where is he? Lieutenant Hebsley.
Does it have to be a 3-pointer?
I mean, it doesn't have to be a 3-pointer, but do you really want to spend 7 points on 2 TIE fighters?
I mean, if one of them was Iden.
I mean, yes, it could be Iden. I'm
not saying it should be Iden.
But yeah. Honestly, Major Meander.
Oh no, I can't remember what they do, but I know I've flown against that before.
Major Meander's I5 has swarm tactics, so that fixes the I2 problem for Civ 6. And during the end phase, you may choose up to 2 friendly small ships at range 0 to 2. So Meander and Civ 6. They may do a red barrel roll or a red boost action, and then they both lose the stress.
And they both lose the stress formed up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, there you go. There's 7 points of fun, and they're both 4-point ties.
Nice, nice. Oh yeah, no, it was a fun game. It's not really a whole lot more to say on that one. Well,
yeah, I enjoyed the tie storm. Tie storms are fun. Like they're just solid.
Fair. Well, yeah, we'll keep this week's quite short, which is nice. We'll probably be back next week with a bit more fun, I'd imagine, before we start settling down for serious stuff.
I might bring out that silly, the silly separatist list.
Fair, fair. I will bring out, I don't know, something different and a different faction, probably.
That's fair.
Right. On that note, then, I'll just say, see you guys next week.
Yeah, ta-ta for now.